Hello and welcome to this tutorial, and in this tutorial we'll be learning how you could design the user interface of your Android application by using the Java code. Now in the previous tutorials we have already learned a method for creating the user interface, and the first method which we have studied is the direct dragging and dropping of elements onto the user interface, and the next method was by using the XML code. So basically we could use the XML tag in order to change the user interface. So by using XML tags we could enter buttons, text views and all that kinds of stuff onto our application page or onto our activity. Now in this tutorial we'll be learning how to design the user interface by purely using Java code. So for this tutorial we'll be creating a new project. So you go ahead and create a new project and let's name it as my new app. So we name the project and we click next, and make sure that you have selected the API level 15. Now click next, and in this case we are going to select the blank activity. Now once you have selected it, click on next. Now let's say the name of the activity is main activity. Now click finish, and now once everything is set up, you just go into this XML text right over here, and what we are going to do is that we are going to delete each and every component which is present right now in our application. So basically we delete this text view right here, and once we delete it, the next thing which we do is we go on to our main activity.java file, and we are also going to delete some of the things from here. So basically here we have the public class main activity, and what we are going to do is that we are going to go inside this onCreate method right over here, and we are going to delete everything right from the toolbar. So make sure that you delete it. So once you have deleted that, the next thing which we do is we also delete these methods, and that is because we are not going to be needing them. So go ahead and just delete all these things. Now another thing which you need to do is that we have the public class main activity which extends app compact activity, and now what we are going to do is that we are going to remove this entirely. So we are going to name it as public class main activity extends activity, and this activity package is present in the android.app.activity. so make sure that you have imported it, and now as you could see we have nothing else on our layout screen. Now once everything is deleted and cleared, the next thing which we need to do is we need to go into this main activity.java file, and we need to start writing the Java code for designing our interface. So before designing the interface, the thing which we need to do is that we need to use a certain layout so that the elements are placed in the screen in that manner. So in this case we'll be using relative layout. Now what relative layout means is that each and every element which is present on our activity is going to be placed in relation to each other. So if you don't understand relative layout right now, so you need to hold on, and it will make more sense when we go into the depth of this tutorial. So now one more thing which we want to do is that we need to remove these imports as well, because they don't make any sense as we'll not be using them right now. So make sure you delete that, and it is just going to clean up your code. So we'll be only dealing with those methods or those codes which we are going to use. Now the next thing which we want to do is that we want to import the layout. So in order to import the layout, we go here and type import android.widget, as the layout is present in the widget package. So we type android.widget and then dot relative layout, as we'll be using the relative layout. Now once we have imported it successfully, the next thing which we want to do is that we want to import a button. Now let's say that we want to add a button onto our activity, so we need to import the button. So we type import android.widget.button, and it is going to import the button for us. Now the next thing which we want to do is that we want to use this relative layout as well as buttons into our onCreate method. So we go in here and then we create objects for these. So first we create the object for relative layout. So we type relative layout, and let's name the object as my layout. So we type my layout equals new relative layout, and in the parameters we are going to specify this. So this is basically a keyword. Now if you are familiar with Java, then you could know that this sentence or this line of code right here is basically nothing but we have created the object of the relative layout and we have named it as my layout. So this is basically object initialization. Now the next thing which we do is we do the same for the button. So we create object for the button. So we type button, then let's name this button as my button, equals new button, and also in the parameter section we specify this. And now once these two objects are created, we go ahead and add them onto our activity. Now in order to add a button onto activity, we initially specify the layout object which we are using. So in this case we are using the layout which is called as my layout. So we type my layout dot add view. Now this add view is going to add the elements onto your layout. So now in this case our layout is the relative layout and we want to add a button. So in the parameter section of this we are going to specify the button name or the button object name. So here we specify my button, and this is going to add the button to our layout. Now the next thing which we want to do is that we want to set the content view to the new layout which we have created, which is nothing but my layout. But the thing is that we have a line of code from our previous project, so we want to make sure that we delete it, and we specify the new code right over here. So we type set content view, and inside it we specify the layout which we are using. So in this case, as we are using my layout, so we type my layout inside it. Now once this is done, we save the code. Now in order to check if we have written the right code, we run the app on the emulator. So as you could see, when we run our application onto the emulator, we get a button right over here. Now the thing is that we have not specified any color or we have not specified any text inside the button, so it is just appearing as a gray colored box. And basically what we are going to do is that we are going to specify color and other properties to this button in our next tutorial. So basically what we have learned in this tutorial is that how you could use Java code in order to design the user interface. Now we have gone through very basic part, that is we have just studied how we could add a simple layout to your activity, and also how you could create a button. And then finally we have learned how you could add the elements into your layout, and then finally we have learned how to set the content view to the current layout. So make sure that you implement this code in your Android Studio, and also make sure that you delete the unnecessary code so that it avoids confusion and you could understand the code in a much more better way. So thank you very much for watching this tutorial, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Thank you.